I'm walking my dogs by the canal this morning. This is the Trent and Mersey Canal. It's a bit of a boring patch of it I'm actually by right now. But it's the Trent and Mersey Canal which joins the River Trent that way by Stoke-on-Trent, what's an area called the Potteries. And it joins this canal up to a network of canals further north, where it joins what's called the Manchester Ring, which is a circle of canals that goes around Manchester. And then it goes off to the left from here, goes off west, and joins up to the Mersey and to the port of Liverpool. And basically it was built to take goods and raw materials from the Mersey, coming in from foreign parts, up to the potteries where it's used in the ceramics industry, and then the final products of that ceramics, the pots, the decanters, the dinner services, those kind of things. Take those down the canal out. Now they're up into Manchester, but more often out to the Mersey for loading on ships and sending off again back to foreign parts. And I guess I'm reminded of this, or one of the reasons why I'm enlivened by this right now, is I was watching Tommy from the Bronx tag sales on YouTube last night. Tommy from the Bronx is a YouTube user who's selling a lot of his stuff off to raise some cash he needs for an operation. And I'm really surprised by this actually. I don't watch an awful lot of his videos, but a lot of his stuff is ceramics. A lot of things like decanters and figurines, that kind of stuff. And the ones I was looking at last night, really nice little bits of stuff. A lot of that was Royal Doulton, and the Royal Doulton factory is up here. It's about 12 miles that way up the canal, along with some of the other ceramics factories, other potteries, the Wedgwood factories up that way as well, and one or two others. And it's a fascinating place actually, and the history of this place is fascinating, I think. Certainly the people who were involved in the building of those factories, people like Josiah Wedgwood, who's probably the most famous, were they were kind of Renaissance men of their time, albeit with a kind of northern industrial slant to that. And they were involved in the setting up of a northern equivalent to the Royal Society, a thing called the Lunar Society, which also included people like Erasmus Darwin, Charles Darwin's granddad, and I think Joseph Priestley, the guy who kind of invented oxygen, was involved in that, and just all of the kind of great and good in science and industry and letters more broadly to a certain extent. And what they used to do for fun and profit, these guys in the Lunar Society, is they would go off and either go to one another's houses where they'd reproduce scientific experiments that they'd read about or they'd heard about. So some of this stuff with oxygen, for example. Or they go and look at the miracles of modern engineering, so they go and look at these canals, go and look at a new lock design. There's a brilliant kind of lock a couple of miles up this way, just past Middlewich, called the Anderton Boat Lift, which is like an elevator for canal boats. It's a huge tank, kind of tank inside a massive metal structure. You sail your boat in there, and the whole thing, boat, water and all, just goes up in an elevator 30 feet to a higher water level so you can continue. It's just a brilliant piece of industrial engineering, marvellous stuff. And these guys, these Lunar Society people, would go out and look at this stuff, or they'd go and look at newly developed cotton mills or some steam engine that had been trialled, that kind of stuff. Fantastic. Anyway, it's pretty funny to think, just to return to the Tommy from the Bronx thing, I don't think he's got very many old pieces actually, antique pieces. Most of them seem to be more recent, which may have been made elsewhere. But certainly it's interesting to think that some of those pieces, these Toby jugs he's holding up, or these decanters, may have come down this piece of canal here actually, and through this narrow little lock here at the end, and then out to be loaded on a boat somewhere at the docks at Mersey. Probably, quite close to where slaves were being loaded as well, because it was a big slave port, Liverpool. And then, and of course, those guys in the Lunar Society were, for the most part, anti-slave trade. So there was lots of that kind of stuff, lots of kind of connections. But those little pots of Tommy from the Bronx is being loaded and then sailed the 3,000 miles to wherever it was he bought them from, if indeed that's what happened. Actually, one of the pieces he was showing last night on his tag sale was a ceramic canal boat. It was really lovely actually. I'm not a big fan of those. My wife calls them tchotchkes, but I might actually see if I can buy that canal boat from him. If he'll send it internationally, he might not want to do that, I can understand that. Might be quite nice to bring that canal boat home, you know what I mean, bring it up here. If I do that, I'll make a video and show you the canal boat. Anyway, that's the Trent and Mersey Canal.